I mean, it's a daily reconditioning of my own brain,
Mm.
which is something that I think we all need to do more of, is to put ourselves in these situations that we're forced to combat that little voice rather
Mm.
than just think, all right, I'm just going to listen to it. Put ourselves in situations to overcome that little inner bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's a good word. The inner bitch. That's what a cold shower or an ice bath will kind of knock it out of you.
Right.
And I had a really good laugh with Frank. Most of you guys know Frankie Wahlberg, our boy, love the kid. And we had a good laugh in the woods, bro, running up the hill and we were climbing down. And he didn't even say it intentionally for me to hear him, but I did. And he's like, "We didn't come here to take the easy road." And he had a good Goggins impression, and I was dying laughing because it's so true. It's really profound, and it's true that if you're taking the easy road all the time, you're not going to become your best self.
Right.
You're not really going to elicit and encourage that growth to evolve.
Right.
And while it's nice to be comfortable, it's nice to be sheltered from the elements.
Right.
And of course, have water.
Right.
And have clean clothes. That's a good thing.
Baseline survival.
We need that first level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right.
We don't want to dwell in the comfort.
Right.
We want to enjoy it, but also step out of that from time to time.
Right.
Definitely, that's where the growth is.
Right.
That's how we're going to get better.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we have this opportunity to live the most comforting life ever. Again, we don't have to even leave our houses anymore. We can have food delivered to us. We can work from home. Like if we wanted to, we all could just live in our own little cubes and never leave. And that's an option. But like we're saying, you got to also push that comfort zone. And I think that it's also important to recognize, well, in this world of, health and wellness, people talk about balance a lot, work-life balance, balance, lifestyle balance, whatever. But also recognizing sometimes we need to embrace periods of imbalance. And that was a big thing at the North Carolina retreat we went to, talking to Lissa. And, we're talking about me adding muscle, getting stronger. And she basically was saying, you can't go for a longevity approach and a muscle building approach at the same time. So if I'm intermittent fasting, I'm doing calorie restrictive, and I'm doing, high reps, lower weight. Yeah, that's great for longevity. But if my goal is to build muscle in the short term, you can't do both. And that inherently is creating an imbalance in my life because I'm spending more time now exercising and spending more time now cooking. And that's creating an imbalance in my life from what was once balanced. But now I'm creating a new balance. And sometimes we need to go off on a tangent. Sometimes if we're starting a business, we may need to work 16 hours a day, which you can't do that forever. That would be an imbalanced lifestyle for most people to work every waking hour. But it's okay to embrace this period of imbalance because that's what's going to stimulate growth. And it's this fine line of recognize, again, come back to comfort. We can say, oh, balance for me is, I go to my 9 to 5, I come home, I watch TV and, cool. But you're not going to be growing from that.
Yeah. I mean, to wrap it up and encapsulate that, not too much, not too little.
Right.
That's the way we're going to heal. We don't want to have too much movement. We want to have the right movement. But we definitely want to make sure we have enough movement.
Right.
You don't want to sleep all day,
right?
Then you're in a coma. But if you don't sleep at all, you're going to burn out and have adrenal fatigue, which is super common today. Water can drown you.
For sure.
But also, we're made of water. We're water beings.
Right.
So it's like, how do you gauge that middle point and do your best to stay there? Because that's what humans are. The middle point between night and day, feminine, masculine, hot, cold, things that a lot of people don't even consider. And the more I consider it, the more I can reflect and be aware of it and realize that, hey, if I'm a little out of balance and going too much or not going enough, I need to just be aware of that. And I get to be aware of that. And with that awareness, that allows you to, do the right thing and make the change.
Right. And that's contrast. And I think that we need that contrast because in this day and age where we're trying to equalize everything and make everything the same, now there's no contrast. If we were happy all the time, it wouldn't really be that great because there's no balance, there's no counterweight to that. And that's what I find, I rarely get sick, but when I get sick, which is maybe, every couple of years or so, and I feel like shit, I'm reminded, wow, it feels really good to be healthy because right now it freaking sucks. Or if I have a, poor night's sleep and I wake up exhausted, it reminds me how nice it is to wake up well rested. And just like the days that we push ourselves too hard in the gym, let's say, the next day we're freaking so sore we can barely lift our arms over our head. It reminds us how good it feels to feel strong and healthy as opposed to, being sore and just feeling kind of like weak and fatigued.
Yeah.
So I think that it's really important to also seek that contrast. Same thing with the ice bath. We're in a temperature controlled climate most of the day. If we're staying inside, or we're in our air conditioned cars, or if we're in a heated house in the winter. But once you go and find that contrast, one, it shocks the body and stimulates growth, and two, it allows me to recognize if everything was the same, life would be so freaking boring that we need things to be different. We need people to be different. We need ideas to be different. We need languages to be different. Just the difference of culture. And I think it's just really important for people to seek that contrast and not just stay in their lane, what they know, what they believe, and what they've been, taught, and seek outside sources. That's going to give them a little bit of contrast.
Yeah, beautifully put. The world would be dull. It would be boring if everybody were the same. If Jordan and Rob loved the same exact things and we read the same exact books and listened to the same podcasts and did the same line of work. If everyone did the same exact thing, it'd be a really dull, boring, gray world.
Right.
So we need that yin and that yang. We need strong male presence. We need strong female presence. And without going off on a tangent about that, we do need to honor where we are, but yes, seek out that contrast and step out of that comfort zone to elicit the growth.
Right.